So I was sitting there in the eye doctor chair, and my eye doctor, this big scary Russian man, who happens to be amazing at his job, he starts putting these big, huge, like glasses on you, and then he starts, testing the different prescriptions to see what is right for you. And so he puts these on, and then he starts flipping through all the lenses. He turns off the light, it gets really weird and dark in there, but he starts flipping through all the lenses, and he asks me this simple question. Every time he flips a lens, he says, better, worse, or the same. And after flipping through a few different lenses, he found my exact prescription, and I walked out of there really satisfied. Now you might be thinking, what in the world does optometry have to do? Optometry, is that a word? Does optometry have to do with music production? Well, this whole scenario got me thinking about a technique that I've seen a while back. And I can't remember, I think it was Joe Gilder from Home Studio Corner who introduced me to this technique. I think. I'll put his link down below. And he said something very simple. If you have trouble with mixing, meaning you are second guessing every mixing move that you're doing, you put on EQ, you do a bunch of things, and then you're like, I don't know, does it sound good? And you do a bunch of more things, and you're like, oh, maybe now it sounds better, but wait, maybe now I was worse off than when I first started. And that happens to everyone at some point when they're mixing. I know it happened to me, and I still visit that deep, dark rabbit hole place. And the idea was that if this is happening to you, you basically have to find out a way to test yourself, to ask yourself one very simple question. Is this move that I just did better, worse, or the same than I had it before the move was on, before I did this move? And this is a very hard question to ask yourself if you're in a session, because you're kind of biased when you see the plugin on and doing stuff, right? So you kind of have to figure out a way to trick yourself into doing this. So here goes the technique. If you're having this problem of second guessing your moves, or you're not sure if your mixing is really improving or making it worse sometimes, right? Here's what you should do. Go into the session, go into the mixing move that you're trying to test out, and place your mouse over it, close your eyes, and hit the bypass button a bunch of times. This way, you don't know that when you click the mouse button a bunch of times, you don't really know if it's bypassed or not bypassed. Do it a bunch of times where your brain can't count how many times you did it, so you don't know if it's bypassed or unbypassed. Then play the song. Play the section of the song once, and then play the section of the song again. But the first time you play it, and the second time you just click your mouse button, since your mouse button is already on the bypass place. Again, make sure not to move your mouse. Just click your mouse again, and one of those playbacks will be with the plugin enabled, and one of those playbacks will be with the plugin disabled. And in doing this, you just have to ask yourself one simple question. Do I like A better, or do I like B better? Or do I not hear a difference between them at all? And with this, you will get the answer that you're trying to figure out. Is it better, worse, or the same? So then open up your eyes, and let's say B was the unbypassed. So A was bypass plugin, and then B was bypass, and you in your mind said that I like B better than A. That means that the move that you just did, out of the three options, better, worse, or the same, it was better. If it was the opposite, let's say you said that you like A better, and B was with the plugin enabled, then you have the answer to better, worse, or the same, probably worse, right? After the plugin. If you can't really hear the difference between them, that basically means that you didn't do enough on your plugin, or you didn't do what you were trying to accomplish on your plugin, and your plugin is just taking up space in your session. So that is a very simple technique to figure out if you're going in the right direction constantly when you're mixing. And you can do this as many times as you want during your mixing phase. So EQ, compression, this track, that track, whenever it suits you. And if you are constantly testing yourself like this, you will see that your mixes, over time, you will have to do less and less of this exercise and will become more second nature. And you'll see that your mixes will slowly start to improve gradually and go in the right direction. That's all I have for you today. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. But before you go, I want to give you my free home studio gear guide. This is a gear guide that I put together. If you're looking to upgrade your home studio or start a home studio and you're not sure exactly what gear to buy and you are within a specific budget, I've got you covered. I put together an entire PDF guide that has all the gear listed that you need to start a home studio and has a few different options for a few different budgets. So it will definitely cover your needs. Go check it out. And until next time.